I'm sure all of you have heard about Looksmaxing before. In case you haven't, here's the definition. Looksmaxing refers to the process of maximizing one's own physical attractiveness. Over the last 80 days, I've been Looksmaxing every single day, with my routine being aboculi training, neck training, gua sha, mastic gum, rosemary oil, olefin, and a small amount of eyelid pulling. I want to go over whether it actually worked or it's just a massive scam where people are trying to sell you courses and make money off of you. That's the main reason I wanted to try, because I saw so much about it online and I thought the only real way to test something is to try it for yourself. So like I've said, I've done it over the past 80 days. Here's my results. Let's go all the way back to day one. I'll be using my Instagram and TikTok videos to show you the progress, if there is any. And yeah, I'll put that up on the screen now. I can't play the audio because it'll get copyrighted, but here was me on day one. I did also adjust my routine as I went through. So as you can see in this one, I was doing zygo pushing, which I soon stopped after a few videos. And just to let you guys know, I wasn't just doing Looksmaxing. I myself had already been on an animal-based diet for around a year, but I started experimenting with raw foods and integrating more raw foods in my diet. So I won't spoil anything, but I believe most of the changes over this course of time was from integrating more raw foods. So the only first thing I can say is my face was probably more bloated at the beginning of the series. So now if we skip all the way to day 30, let's see how we were looking there and what we were doing. So obviously off the bat, my hair was a little bit different. I believe I did have a haircut in this time and then got it cut short, but generally my hair looks better when it's a bit longer like it is now. But we were still following the same routine and doing some calisthenics, which we have since stopped. And I was at this point still eating raw meat every single day. I hadn't missed a single day of it. And now we'll skip to day 50 a bit later on in the series. I think this is around where I may have started integrating olefin and rosemary oil in my routine, which I hadn't done before. We're on day 51 because I didn't post the day 50. But we were still doing pretty much the same routine. Yeah, we did integrate the olefin here. And yeah, this is when I got the haircut and it wasn't great. Like I said, when my hair's shorter, it does look worse. But I would say my face was slightly less bloated here. But still bloated regardless. And this is also when I had swollen lymph nodes, which was due to a detox from eating 100% raw meat. Around day 55 is when I started searing my muscle meats. I'm still to this day having raw organs and keeping things mostly raw, but I have started cooking, or not cooking, but searing muscle meats purely for taste because I began to get repulsed about it. But I'll make another video about the raw meat because obviously that's a topic for another day and it's quite interesting. So now if we skip all the way to the end of the journey on day 80, I had also been doing Looksmaxing 10 days prior to this, so it's around 90 days in total. We'll go to the video where I talk about that I quit Looksmaxing. I mean, if we pause it here and put up a side-by-side comparison to day one, the only changes I believe happened is my face got less bloated.
I'm just editing this and I realised there was also a brief difference in my eyes, but you can't actually see it on the side-by-side profile, so it's better to look at me in the actual video speaking than this because it was from a screenshot from the video where I was kind of like at a funny angle.
Which was not due to Looksmaxing, it was due to moving from more cooked foods, a cooked carnivore diet, to a more raw carnivore diet. And I also took it a lot more serious to prior. Even though I was taking it serious before, with this I was taking extra precaution. So in conclusion, I think the only two things that worked from Looksmaxing was I think rosemary oil made my eyebrows very, very, very slightly thicker. Not even that much of a noticeable difference. And olefin did have some effect in making my upper eyelid exposure slightly less and made them slightly thicker. Like if I feel them now, they feel thicker than they used to. However, like you just saw in that video, I have decided to stop Looksmaxing now. Reason being, I don't believe it works and I don't like the community around Looksmaxing. At the end of the day, the best way to improve your looks is to improve your health. A healthy person will always look better than an unhealthy person. If you focus on your health, it will fix all of your issues. And there's a dark rabbit hole with Looksmaxing, as I'm sure many of you know, called black pill. And essentially it's the belief that if you don't look good, everything's over for you. And I think people kind of spiral down this to think everything's about looks. Looks is the only thing that matters. Just think about this. You can't change your bone structure naturally unless you're growing and you're eating the correct nutrition. But even then, you're just growing into the natural human blueprint because you're giving yourself the right foods, you're giving yourself real foods, which is the most important thing. Doing these silly little exercises on your face every single day isn't going to save you. Fixing your health is going to save you. You're going to fix your gut issues if you have any. You're going to fix your skin like I have, fix your hair, essentially fix every issue you had in your life, which was most likely due to a Western diet and eating essentially poisoned foods every day. Fix all of these issues and you're going to be a much happier person, and your mental state isn't going to be messed up to the fact where you get consumed in black pill and think looks are the only thing that matters. All that black pill and looks maxing is based off is insecurities, which is why you've got clavicular or baby stickly, all of these influencers. I mean, you have one side where they're pushing the natural methods known as the cope methods, but at least they're not pushing that you're giving yourself poisons every single day, and that is okay. Clavicular, for example, pushes drugs to 13, 14-year-olds, which I think is insane. They're going to mess up their growth, they're going to mess up their hormones, and in a lot of cases they can actually mess up the brain as well. And at such an impressionable age, it's not really ideal to be even looking at these things. Like, since doing this series, I've grown quite a lot, right? I've pulled in quite a few views. I've had like a surprising amount, especially on TikTok, a surprising amount of like 12 to 14-year-olds asking me, oh, how do I start Looksmaxing? And it's like, bro, how do you even know about Looksmaxing at this age? It's quite sad, really. What I would say to them is focus on your health, because true happiness comes from true health, I believe. I used to have terrible IBS, have to go to the toilet 6 times a day. I'd have intense stomach cramps, like trapped wind. It used to be really bad. I used to make noises all day. And I fixed all of these issues through eating an animal-based diet, meat, organs, eggs, butter. That's literally all I eat now. For me, that works perfectly for me. It's a natural human diet. It's what all humans should be eating. We're all carnivores naturally. We're not omnivores, we're not herbivores. If you go down the route of hard maxing, is what it's called, so essentially taking steroids and getting surgery, you have to think to yourself, when is it enough? When are you going to be attractive enough for you to call it a day? Because you get one surgery and there's still something you can improve on, all because you want to mog. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid that the whole community, I think, is very toxic. And yeah, it's all, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of them are, the main audience of Looksmaxing is like 12 to 16-year-olds, which are all insecure about their looks and want some, but when they haven't even fully grown yet. You eat real food, you won't be stressing about these minute things that don't matter. You look the best that you can naturally through eating real foods, going out in the sun, not being stressed. You're going to be more attractive. Go to my Instagram if you want to ask me any questions. Have a good day. Please also like, comment, subscribe, and give me some more video ideas too.